Hello. Good morning and afternoon, depending on what side of the world you're on. And welcome to a special extended edition of the Impact Money Show. Very good to see everybody. We are diving deep into the events, economic trends, and technological advancements that are defining the beginning of 2025. This is going to be an important show. So join us as we explore the intricate details of what's happening around the globe with a special focus on finance and AI. Just getting my links out here to my people. We are very happy. I'll tell you what, there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on X. There's a lot going on in the world. We are very happy to be here, happy to be on TV in Texas and Louisiana as well. Guys, we are expanding big time. We're expanding big time. So we're going to talk more about that moving forward. Looks like our link is working on X. It hasn't been working very well. Hasn't been auto-populating very well this last week. And there's just a lot going on. I mean, this is a whirlwind of stuff that we have going on here on X, I'll tell you, and in the world. Let me just boom, boom, oh, damn. Okay, there we go. Terrorism and security. Let's start with the somber news. The year began with a terror attack in New Orleans where a vehicle mowed down pedestrians on Bourbon Street, killing at least 15 people. The FBI has taken over the investigation, finding weapons and what could be explosive devices in the vehicle, along with an ISIS flag pointing to international terrorism. Now, of course, I have to say that the ISIS flag being found, it just, it's so much reminds me of good morning, afternoon, and evening. Evening for one of our friends there on YouTube. Good to see you. Good to see you here. And I also have some prices that I can put on here. Boom, for everybody down at the bottom. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember after 9/11, a few days later, they were like, "Oh, we found the passports. See, look here, we had found these passports. Passports weren't even burned. It was just crazy. They're like, oh, we found the ISIS flag. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they did, guys. This incident is a stark reminder that the threats we face has sparked national dialogue on security, surveillance, and the effectiveness of our counterterrorism strategies. Parallel to this, Las Vegas experienced a shocking event where a Tesla Cybertruck exploded near Trump Towers, resulting in one death and multiple injuries. This, too, is under FBI scrutiny for potential terrorism links. These events not only challenge our sense of security, but also raise questions about the role and credibility of our intelligence agencies in preventing such attacks and, let's face it, even investigating them. Political shifts and events. We've seen a significant political development. Of course, former Jimmy Carter has passed away at the age of 100. He's remembered for a lot of things, his extensive humanitarian work. A lot of people say he's the worst president ever, all these types of things. Now that with Donald Trump back in office, we're witnessing a shift in policy direction, including his administration's move to challenge the TikTok ban in the Supreme Court and his public skirmishes with political figures. These actions could influence everything from tech regulations to international diplomacy, with potential economic repercussions. Hurricane Helene's rampage through the American South, particularly affecting Asheville, has reignited debates on how we are handling these situations and sending all of this money overseas for aid and not taking care of our own people. Globally, an Israeli airstrike in Beirut has added tensions to the Middle East, potentially signaling a broader conflict. Meanwhile, South Korea's political upheaval with the impeachment of the acting president by the opposition could lead to significant shifts in policy and alliances in Asia. Turning to technology, the platform X, which is really my favorite platform of all time, once called Twitter, is at the center of a complex debate about free speech, with policies that can limit content, including the removal of blue checks from users with certain political stances and the deletion of accounts linked to movements like the Groyper movement. X faces criticism for what some see as selective censorship. This paradox is about balancing open discourse and with the responsibility to, I guess, the sponsors and to prevent harm. A debate that's as much about ethics as it is about policy, and it certainly is a hot debate. I said it the last show, I was very happy to be out golfing and when all this stuff was happening, to be very frank with you guys. In finance and tech, XAI's $6 billion investment from giants like BlackRock, NVIDIA, and others mark a significant vote of confidence in AI's future. While the investment isn't directly tied to the X platform policies, it occurs in context where X is making headlines for its moderation decisions. This juxtaposition raises questions about the influence of the investment on the platform's governance, though no direct causation has been proven. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Bitcoin has been climbing. It is above, it's about 96.5 right now, buoyed by institutional investment, regulatory optimism under Trump, and post-halving effect. Analysts are split on whether we'll see a combined bull run or if we're due for corrections. A continued bull run, I'm sorry. With predictions ranging from 150,000 to 500,000 by late 2025. The crypto market is also seeing a diversification trend with altcoins like Solana, Ethereum, and Cardano gaining ground due to their unique technological propositions. And of course, they do it better, right? The Dow futures are up nearly about 200 points, signaling possible recovery from year-end profit taking. This optimism is partly due to expectations of the Federal Reserve cuts, though the market remains sensitive to geopolitical events and domestic policy changes under Trump. Now, I do think that they are going to not do a cut in January, so we're going to see how that plays out. Both gold and silver are experiencing gains, with silver up by 2% and gold up by about 0.5%. This could be attributed to investors seeking safe haven assets amidst the global uncertainties. Forecasts suggest a bullish trend for 2025, driven by inflation fears, geopolitical risk, and weakening U.S. dollar. The Great British Pound has fallen while the U.S. dollar has risen, reflecting differing economic forecasts between the U.S. and the U.K. There's speculation on whether the U.S. dollar might overtake the Great British Pound in value, a scenario that would hinge on the central bank's policies, economic data, and global trade dynamics. The slight rise of the Japanese yen points to political impacts on the infamous yen carry trade, with the Bank of Japan possibly contemplating rate hikes. This could increase borrowing costs, potentially leading to re-evaluation of this strategy, affecting global investment flows and currency values. AI governance is becoming a focal point, with discussions around privacy, ethical AI use, and regulatory framework intensifying. Legal experts and tech companies are navigating this new landscape, trying to balance the innovation with societal benefits and protections. Companies like Clarify are introducing AI orchestration capabilities, aiming for cost reduction and flexibility in AI deployment. This reflects a broader trend where businesses are leveraging AI not just for efficiency, but for strategic insights. The U.S. government forecasts significant growth in IT jobs with AI at the core, potentially adding hundreds of thousands of new positions. The growth underscores the need for education and training in the AI and technology. AI is just absolutely blowing up. Robotics and the same. Let's talk a little bit more about the market. I have the great Matt Dixon here. Sir Matt, how are you?
Hey, good morning. Happy New Year, Bruce. Happy New Year, Impact Money viewers.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, interesting looking at the markets. They've gone pretty well, not pretty well, they've gone exactly according to plan from what we laid out. I mean, we'll look at some of the assets. It's been absolutely amazing, but we're still in that thin Christmas festive sort of trading time at the moment.
Yep.
I think traders really come back properly on Monday. So there's still, we've got New Year's Day Wednesday, and then basically we'll carry on and then start. I think everyone's back to work, I think, on Monday. So I think that's when the trading really starts. I've gone through this. As you know, I've been trading for getting on 40 years now. I've gone through this year after year after year. I see the thin Christmas trading and what it does. And it's really interesting that you see the thin Christmas trade usually goes against the prevailing trend. When I say prevailing trend, I'm not talking long-term trend. I'm talking about this is a short-term phenomenon when we see there's thin trade. So the market makers typically move the prices against the market, take out all those people who'd gone bearish, because we saw Bitcoin top out 108,000. It started to fall, fell down to about 90,000, and people started to get bearish. So that's the time they then reverse the market, especially in thin trade. It's very easy for them to do that. They take the prices up, and that's what's happening now. So we'll see that, and we'll see a triangle formation in Solana, which again, I detailed that on X a few days ago, what I expected. It's gone precisely according to plan. So let's just jump into those charts. Let me share my screen as usual. Take me a moment. It's been a couple of days since we did this.
I know, right? I'll tell you, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Let's see here.
Yeah. So well, let's get out of Solana. Let's jump in first of all into dollar. Well, let's jump first of all into oil. You can see the oil chart, can you?
Oh yeah, look at that.
So that was interesting.
What are we at right now?
Right now, 72.77.
Okay.
So it's interesting because when it was at the low of around the 67, everyone again was pretty well bearish on oil. We actually gave the other point of view, and we're saying, despite all the indications that oil is bearish, we said, and I came out and said that I think oil is going to get a pump in price only for technical reasons, because basically we'd had a corrective move down. We expected at least a good three-wave corrective move higher, and that's precisely what we've seen here. And what's driven it? It's amazing. We see it in the charts, and then we see the news come out to fulfill what we expected in the charts. Yep. And what's happened? Well, Ukraine Ukraine and Russia there's more disputes over oil, about the flow of gas to Europe. They've cut off the flow of gas to Europe now, and so there's a shortage, and so it drives the price up. The price of energy goes higher. So again, amazing that we see it in the charts, and then the news comes out to manifest what we said in the charts. We see that with oil, we see it with the dollar, we see it with assets. It's amazing. And it's just interesting to see what you were saying today about all the reasons for Bitcoin pumping and so on and so on. And behind the scenes, the reasons are actually capital flows. And what are the reasons for those capital flows? Well, there's reasons, for example, the thin market, thin trading, thin liquidity during the Christmas period. These are what I expected, but also chart formation. So we will go into dollar index maybe a bit more. Well, I suppose we'll finish off on the dollar, on the currencies for now. I mean, as you said, the pound has been heading down. Look at it, heading down very sharp.
Oh, very sharp.
Yeah. So again, this is something that we said was going to happen. It's going to go much, much lower. Even if the dollar gets under pressure, which I'm sure it will do sometime this year, the dollar will get under serious pressure, but the pound and the other currencies will probably be under a lot more pressure. So economically, you see, there's a couple of drivers behind currencies. And obviously, we've got those economic drivers. Right now, the US economy is very healthy compared with, for example, the UK or European economies, which are really struggling. I mean, the UK economy is really in the doldrums right now. The Labour government have come in. They instigated a lot of policies, raising taxes, raising spending, etc., which are actually dampening growth expectations. And they're now talking about, going into recession. We're already pretty well in recession, but just spending is going down and down. We had a really miserable spending time over Christmas, record lows for spending over Christmas, over Boxing Day sales. People are not spending because they haven't got the money, because prices have gone up. Fuel prices are still going up. Fuel at the pump for the car, energy prices for heating. I mean, it's they're eye-watering, the increases that we're seeing, but we're not seeing increases in wages to match it. So people are not able to spend the way they were. And we had, don't forget, all that money that was printed in COVID times. That printing, they're slowing down now. So that supported the economy, but in a false way. It wasn't productivity, as we said over and over before. It wasn't increasing productivity, but there's more money in the system, and the money had to flow into risk assets. And that's why we saw these risk assets pumping. But, it doesn't help productivity long term. In fact, it stores up problems for the long term. You just put a sticking plaster over a very serious wound, and that wound is festering, and eventually it comes out. And we're seeing that manifesting now in the value of the pound, for example. You can see it's fallen very sharply, and that's what we expected, and it will, as I say. I do believe that prediction. In fact, we came out with it first, to be fair, about the dollar flipping the pound. It won't happen overnight, I doubt, but actually it's amazing how rapidly these things can happen. When you look at events in the world, I mean, think about what's happened with Syria. That is phenomenal. The way that's turned around.
Unbelievable. So fast.
Yeah, Bashar al-Assad was there. Do you know that the Assad family have been there since the 1970s? His father was in power, and then Bashar al-Assad himself was in power from the 70s until now. And they're overthrown in just a couple of days. I mean, that's, a 50-year reign of power just overthrown in a couple of days. So it's amazing how quickly.
And actually, not to go off topic, but I just read as well that he's recovering at the moment, but by the news reports, he was poisoned just over the last 24 to 48 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a coincidence that he's gone to Russia, because Russia always had very, very tight interests in Syria. Obviously, they had a big naval port there. Russia had been supporting Syria over the years. They've been supporting the Assad regime over the years. So I don't think it's without significance that he went to Russia. And I don't think this has finished playing out yet. There's going to be a lot more happening with Syria. I mean, there's a lot of unstable forces now coming into that void, as it were, that power vacuum that's been left by the Assad regime going overnight. And there's a lot of forces pouring into that. And that's really why Israel is so concerned, genuinely. And I think it's, I can understand it, that these forces coming in, there were a lot of weapons that the Assad regime did have, and they're now falling into the hands. And that's why Israel have now had 400, probably way more than 400 now, bombing sorties into Syria to try to destroy.
Well, I mean, that could be, to me, that's the Greater Israel Project.
It doesn't really matter, Bruce. It doesn't really matter what the reasons are behind it. The fact is, it's happening. I mean, we can.
Well, I agree, but you're given a reason why it's happening, and I'm saying, that's. I think they orchestrated the entire. They orchestrated the entire thing. If you ask me, they orchestrated the entire. It was the CIA and it was the Mossad, and that was Al-Qaeda went in there and overthrew Assad.
I mean, I tend to agree that we genuinely don't know, and actually, there's never one true answer, because it's never one-sided. There's always two sides to every argument, and I don't doubt that there's also interference between the international agencies that you're talking about.
Yep.
The quest for power and control within the Middle East by the Western powers, and not just the Middle East. We're talking about Russia, Ukraine, with NATO and everything.
A lot of resources in the Middle East. A lot of resources.
Absolutely, yeah. So we don't know the full truth of it. I'm giving one reason, you're giving other reasons, and no doubt there's some truth to both sides.
No doubt.
Of the argument.
No doubt.
But the fact is, it's happening. So whatever the reasons are, and I don't dispute there are varied reasons, but whatever the reasons are, I'm saying it's not over yet. There's a lot more to happen in that region. And, we'll look, as I said.
Well, look at even there now, we have the Taliban is now invading Pakistan. I mean, no one's really talking about that too much, but I think that, Pakistan is a nuclear power as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's, it's flaring up everywhere around the world. Even as you said, maybe Al-Qaeda behind this terrorist. We also had a similar terrorist attack in the UK. I don't actually watch the headline news these days because, again, you just don't know the truth behind it. We're just we're almost brainwashed sometimes by it. So you're right to doubt and to question, whether it's even true what we're hearing, whether it's true that it's Al Qaeda or what, who knows. But I guess we observe these things and try to take a balanced view. And that's why I'm not arguing, dogmatically against what you're saying or what anybody's saying. I'm just saying, keep an open mind, watch what's happening. And as I say, I just think there's a lot more still happening. There's flare-ups all around the world. There's a lot more still to happen in the Middle East, particularly with Syria. There's a lot more to happen there. So, as I said, we're still, I think, in the quiet Christmas period pretty well with the markets. We'll jump back into the markets in a moment. We're still in that quiet Christmas period. I think the real markets will start again probably as of next week. And let's see where they go from there. So as I said, the pound has been diving because the UK economy is in the doldrums. US economy currently is okay. But as you said, they're probably not going to cut rates again in January. I don't think rate cutting's over yet, probably not over yet in the US, but they're probably not going to cut January. So that's the reason, one reason behind dollar strength as well. So, and again, whilst we're seeing here still some good dollar strength here against the yen, whilst the yen is weak, that's usually good for risk assets. And we've actually seen, you can see here, it's pushing up quite strongly, the dollar against the yen. So while the yen is weak, the carry trade is continuing. That means there's cheap money available to invest into risk assets like Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, S&P 500, Dow, NASDAQ, whatever. There's cheap money available. So the markets are going to be buoyant for the time being. But I do think that we're probably set for a turnaround fairly soon in the new year. I'm on the 4 hour. It's a bit messy, this chart, because I've got so much on it. But this is the S&P 500. We still... We expected there to be the A wave down, B wave up. We expected a C wave down. I don't think it's yet finished. I think we've probably got lower to go to complete the correction. We did have regular bearish divergence telling us of the downturn to here, to the A wave. That's exactly what happened. Then we had hidden bullish divergence here, which told us the price was going to pump. That's exactly what happened. And then the price has descended in a C wave. As I say, I don't think it's quite yet complete. So I do think that after this thin liquidity period, we'll probably get another little turn down. We might get a nice day today. As I say, we're still thin liquidity for the rest of the week probably. But I think we're going to head down to finish an ABC correction. Then we'll probably head up to new all-time highs in the, the euphoria still of Trump coming in. And everyone's very optimistic. So there's a lot.
There is a lot going on too. I got a call from one of my buddies, and we got a pretty major backer, and they want us to handle some of these inaugural balls that are going on. I mean, we're talking like 3 weeks, right? I'm like, okay, guys. But I mean, it is massive, the amount of money that's being thrown at and the optimism that is happening right now. Everybody wants to come to DC and have this inauguration, and the hopes of what is going to come out of this presidency. I mean, hopes are really high.
Yeah, absolutely. Problem is sometimes when hopes are so high, they're not able to quite live up to them. But let's see. Don't pour cold water, or what is it? Pour oil, whatever it is. Let's just be optimistic for the time being and hope that they're resolved. So actually, in the optimistic vein of things, I've said there's going to be a lot more happening, a lot more trouble in the Middle East. I do think that a peace process will come out of this. And one thing that Trump has said is he wants to stop basically spending money on supporting wars abroad, like with Ukraine, Russia, like in the Middle East. Yeah. So I do think that he's going to be successful with a major peace process that's going to prevail.
Well, it's interesting. I agree with you. Hopefully, it's correct. But Jimmy Carter just passed, and what he did was actually fairly successful with Egypt and Israel.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why he got the Nobel Prize, the Peace Prize. Yeah. He was very, very successful. So I know a lot of people said it was the most dismal presidency ever, but he did actually have a lot of achievements in terms of, as you say, humanitarian peace, important things that he was very, very successful in, but also continued long after his presidency as well. So a great man in maybe different ways than some people wanted. But I think from global perspective, I think is a big force for good. So, yeah, that was, a great presidency. Sad to see him go, but great age, 100 years. Amazing.
That's right.
So anyway, as I say, we're expecting ABC down, but then I think we'll push to new all-time highs for SPX. That's the S&P 500. So I think, as I say, after a push down, we will get some optimism and euphoria, maybe a peace deal, who knows? But before that, probably a little bit more turmoil to happen. Bitcoin, as you say, has pushed up quite nicely. It still doesn't look to be, it looks as though maybe we've got a little bit more downside still to come. So still in corrective mode, I believe, from the all-time high. We're a long way from 108 still.
Yeah.
In percentage terms. I mean, we're, more than 10% off the all-time high there. I think we're still in corrective mode. I think this is an A wave down, some kind of B wave up. I don't think we've finished the move down. So as I say, I think after the weekend, we may see a bit of negativity in the markets to finish off a correction. But then I'm very optimistic and hopeful that we're going to see new all-time highs for Bitcoin. The one that's really interesting and gives me real direction, I think, in the markets. I've been following, as you know, one of my favorite trades is Solana, and we've had what I think is some kind of corrective move down. I've got an AB. This should actually read W. Here, I'll just change it to a W. So we've got an AB W down, and then we've got some kind of X wave higher. So the X wave is made up of, from this W down here, we've got an A wave higher, which is a 5-wave impulsive move higher. Then we've got a triangle, which is made of A, B, C, D, E. You can see that. And the triangle is a B wave here. And then we get a C wave up. So triangle, if you remember, I've gone over it many times. Triangle is what's called a pre-terminal move in the cycle. So by pre-terminal, it means the one before the last wave, which is the thrust from the triangle. So we were expecting this. So as I say, we had the A wave, then we had a B wave triangle, and then you get what's called the thrust from the triangle, which is normally an aggressive move out of the triangle. So the triangle is normally within a boundary. You can see a sort of triangle shape there, which is the trend lines here, makes up a triangle shape. And the triangle has A, B, C, D, E within it. Each of those waves is made up of 3 waves. And if you broke down on the shorter time frames, you can see it. You can very clearly see the D wave here from C to D. You can see very clearly 3 waves, A, B, and C, to give us that 3 waves within there. But every one of those legs is made up of 3 waves. If you look on the shorter time frame, you'll see it. But then following the E wave, and the E wave, by the way, is the only one that can under or overshoot the trend lines. And just look at it here. It just overshoots the trend line just by a little bit. Not by a lot, but it's perfectly within the rules, and that's quite normal. It should be reasonably close to the trend line. So it just overshoots, and then we got an aggressive move higher. And that is what was expected. And we actually laid it out a few days ago on X, that this was the move that was expected. It's precisely what's happened. So the thing is, this move now is what's called the terminal wave, the final terminal thrust from the triangle in this cycle. So being terminal, it means it's the last wave. So it's the final C wave of this X wave. The X wave is made up itself of A, B, C. So we're working now on the final C wave higher. That will most likely terminate at 100% of the A wave. It's not definite, but most likely. So around $216 for Solana, I'd expect there'll be a turn in price. Now we can go beyond it because it could extend further. It could go to 1.618, for example. So we are looking for higher, and we've been looking for higher right from the bottom of this triangle, right from the E wave. Been looking for higher on Solana, but it's a terminal wave. So following that, should then see a move down lower, which we've had W. This is an X wave. We should then get a Y wave. The Y wave will be made up of 3 larger waves to the downside, and that should take us quite a bit lower on Solana. But then following that low, we then should see a turn. The correction will then be complete from the all-time high, the correction of WXY. That's what's called a double zigzag.
Agreed. We lost Matt. Can't change so fast. All right, just wanted to put out that post there. I'm sure he will come right back. Let me just message him so he knows he's off. But I'm sure he does know. looked like that was a crash. That's what it looked like. Looks like it's a computer crash. Pretty interesting, though, what he's talking about right there as we cut away with Solana. I use Solana many times as the indicator for what the market is going to do, because Solana is traded. They're very experienced traders. Now, it's in you also have the same type of situation with Ripple, XRP. XRP, I've always said, is traded. The traders, the market makers on XRP are the most professional that I've ever traded against. And I say traded against because they are trading against you, especially if you are using leverage and margin trading. They're trying to take your money and you're trying to take their money. And that's really just the way it works. So it's better that you just kind of understand that. And they are trading against you. Absolutely. Now, you take that, though, to Solana. And Solana is also very professionally traded, but it's a very technical, it's a very technical sound trading. XRP, they'll like really trap you. Just bam. And I'm not saying that Solana won't do that, but they are, in my experience, predicting the market. And I mean, they are the central bankers, guys. I mean, both XRP and Solana, but Solana as well. They're the new ones. And so they are predicting the trends. And so if they know that the trend is going to be down, then they will usually go down a little bit before the rest of the market, including Bitcoin. Or if they think that the market is going to go up, then it'll go up a little bit before the market. So I use Solana. I like trading Solana, but I use it also as a good indicator to what may happen ahead, because those guys have the inside information. Trust me. Central bankers have the inside information. One of the reasons why the Bitcoin price and the whole crypto price has gone absolutely crazy is because, in my opinion, I guess I don't have any total evidence. In my opinion, in my not so humble opinion, it's because they printed up a bunch of money and they bought it all. That's what happened. Of course, you had Saylor egging them on and buying and making them buy the top. Thank God we had Saylor making them buy the top. If we didn't, they'd have all that Bitcoin for so cheap. And they still have it for cheap, especially if we go up to $1 million. It's still cheap, right? Still cheap. So pretty interesting stuff. Of course, one thing I would like to talk about here, especially since we're waiting for Matt, if you are interested in getting gold and silver, you can go to @costmetal.club or @costmetals.com and use the referral clubs. I have this right here. And I can also play our while I'm waiting here. So we will be, all right, well, first, let me not get sidetracked. First, @costmetals.club. Boom. You go to @costmetals.club. You can sign up there and you can buy gold and silver, palladium, platinum at cost, just by joining the club. Okay, let me see here. Hong Kong. Boom. There we go. Share my screen. Seems like Matt has had a proper meltdown of his. Okay, here we go. Our ad that we did for Hong Kong. We're going to be in Hong Kong in February. Pretty excited about it. The infamous Consensus Conference comes to Hong Kong February 18th through 20. You get a 15% discount on your tickets. Use code Bruce15.
I see you at every conference, Bruce. What's going on? Oh, man. Just doing the deal. Are you ready for Hong Kong? Bro, I was born ready. Come on. I know, man. Me too. The exciting thing about Consensus Hong Kong, especially this time, is that with Trump coming into office, now everybody knows that the U.S. market is wide open and we can all make a lot of money, man.
We can all make a lot of money, man. That's what it's all about. Speaking of a lot of money, we are expanding. Okay, our TV network here. The company Global Boost has made a strong, has taken a strong position in this buying. We're buying 88 TV stations in 31 different states, and we will be the largest. We will be the largest crypto-friendly and Trump-friendly, MAGA-friendly network in the country, probably in the world. There are ways for you to get involved in that, which we're putting together here, and so we'll have more of that as we move forward. But it's going to be very exciting. It's big. There's a big movement right now on this. I don't even want to talk too much about it because I don't want to spoil anything. You know what I mean? Like, you get everything in place, then you don't want to ruin anything, right? So I'll have more of that as we move forward. It's very exciting stuff. And if you want to be on TV, and if you want to be in front of, we'll be on a daily basis. We're going to be, in front of tens of millions of people. It's going to be pretty interesting. Super excited about it. Of course, it has taken us a year to get to this point. We've been doing the show for a little over a year now. Almost every day, right? Monday through Friday. We love doing the show. We're on TV there in Texas and Louisiana, and about to be in a bunch of different states, including New York and all these big ones. So we're super excited about that. I'll probably talk to many of you moving forward as we do that. We also have a exciting partnership with 2Bit. I'll play that video too. 2Bit, here we are. This is another one of our content here. It says, feeling left out of the monetary revolution, harness our 60 years of combined trading expertise with Matt Dixon and me on the 2Bit Exchange platform. Now open to U.S. customers. Use the referral code IMPACTMONEY to sign up. It's open for U.S. customers. Leverage the insights and strategies from decades of trading experience. The 2Bit Exchange is your gateway to a new era of financial opportunities designed with advanced trading tools like CopyTrader and AI to help you stay ahead in the fast-paced world of cryptocurrencies. Join us and don't get left behind of the financial revolution. Watch our ad here.
Hey, Randy, I got another home run for us, man. This 2Bit Exchange is absolutely amazing.
Hey, Bruce, what's up, man? Yeah, why don't you tell me about that 2Bit Exchange?
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to be able to list our coins that we want that we support, and they're going to be on this amazing derivatives platform. It's absolutely awesome.
Derivatives? I love derivatives. I can't wait to be on the Trade Copy program.
So what I want you to do is set up an account and then send me your UID, and let's set you up with a trade copy system, and you just let it run. Copy our trades. That's it. Easy peasy.
So you want me to open an account, send you my user ID, and you hook me up with a trade copy system. I can't wait. Sounds spectacular.
Hey, Matt. Hey, listen, I met with the guys at 2Bit Exchange while I was in Dubai, and this platform really looks amazing.
Yeah, hi Bruce. Yeah, thank you.
There he is, Great Matt Dixon.
I've looked into this 2Bit platform. It does appear to have everything we're looking for.
Yeah, that's right. 2Bit, Toobit. They have great liquidity. They have futures platform. There's a lot of functionality that I think you're going to like on there. And they really want to work with us. They want to work with the Impact Money Show. And as you and I both know, if they have a good product and they want to work with us, well, hey, that's half the battle.
I mean, basically, I love that copy trade facility. I love the features on the platform. It's basically very simple to use.
Our viewers only need to set it up to copy our trades, and they just do all the trades that we do. Makes it really easy for people to participate.
All right, we got Matt back here. We can play that later. Oh, how are you, Matt? You're back.
Good. I'm not sure what happened, whether you cut me off because more important stuff. There's nothing more important in the markets, Bruce.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I thought your computer crashed.
Maybe it did. I don't know. I have no idea where it cut off. But anyway, just to summarize.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? Yeah, I messaged you right off. We lost you. It was about 10 minutes ago. 12 minutes
Wow,
ago.
and I was chatting away, going on about the market. I had no idea it cut off.
I guess I'll call you next time. I thought you were rebooting your computer or something.
No, I didn't know there's a problem. But anyway, let's look forward to, obviously it's tomorrow, but let's look forward to Monday, because I think that's really when the markets will start, and then we'll set out what we expect for the new year for 2025, with maybe a bit of a deep dive into timings, market expectations, and hopefully, as you said, I just saw a final bit there about 2-bit. Great opportunity for people to actually get involved, and we'll be offering people the opportunity to follow our trades and see where we go, because we've been doing really well this year, or this last year, should I say.
I mean, I think you always do well. Matt has he's very experienced. So like over the holiday here, he's like, just stay out of the market. It's gonna be too volatile. And look what it does. It's left, right, it's everywhere. People getting liquidated right and left.
Yeah, I mean, I did expect, as I say, during the thin period, we had a down move in the markets before the holiday period. So I expected the holiday period to move prices against prevailing prices. And that's precisely what happened. I think we're going to see another reversal come next week, I believe. So let's just look at that. And then we'll set ourselves up accordingly. As long as we can say in advance, and we did that really well. These moves, that triangle on Solana was phenomenal. Again, if you traded what we said with Solana, with that triangle, a break from the triangle, a terminal thrust from the triangle, and then we're going to see a breakdown from that terminal thrust. That is an opportunity. And as I said, if you've not been trading, no problem, because there's always opportunities. There's never a lack of opportunities. There's always political things that are moving the markets. There's always economic factors. We've got the next rate move coming, maybe a non-decision. Who knows what it's going to be? But all these things move the markets, and it's really exciting. I'm glad we're here to share our thoughts with the world. So yeah, that was, I won't dive back into the charts, but I'll look forward to tomorrow and to Monday, and we'll see where we're going for this coming 2025.
Sounds good, my friend. Well, I appreciate you, and see you tomorrow, and looking forward, everybody, moving forward as well.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Cheers. The great Matt Dixon. He thought I cut him off. I would never do that, Matt. Let me see here. What I wanted to do here real quick, though, was, let's see here. I wanted to play this interview here real quick. This was a good one. Hold on a second. Just bear with me here. Austin. Hold on here. Bear with me. I have... All right. Well, that's not popping up for me at the moment. Well, we're live. It's live TV. Bear with me here 1 second. All right. Well, it's not popping up. So I'll finish our thing here. Oh, man. I wish I could remember that. So one of the things about trading is, of course, it's hard to go to sleep. So I actually ended up closing. I was in some trades last night, and I couldn't go to sleep. So I just had to close them. What are you going to do? And the market did exactly what I thought it was going to do. So, but I was already up. I was up a lot yesterday, so it was fine. All right, guys, that's it. I'm good for today. I hope you guys are enjoying your holiday. I have one daughter that is in school and another daughter that's already that has, I think, the rest of the week off. So we're doing the deal. We'll be back on your TVs in a few hours, playing throughout the day, about every 3 or 4 hours. And we will be back streaming live again tomorrow. Cheers.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.